Hello, everybody, and welcome to WarCrafters for February 2nd, 2025, Season 2. I won't even say what episode this is.
Scofflaw.
I'm a rebel. Things I've seen, you shouldn't understand. You couldn't understand. I am
Does this have
Merwat.
anything to do with your shirt?
No, nothing. I'm professionally dressed as mayor of ohmTown, along with the sentient AI. I'm just going to get right on into the show. This is WarCrafters, and we talk about games. And we try to stick to first-person shooters, real-time simulations. But I'm more of a cozy game player, personally. But RPG, gaming discussions, streamcasts, we talk about all of that kind of stuff. Gaming. But we talk about 5 articles each weekend. It all gets merged into Non Sequitur News Weekend Edition for Sunday, along with 2 other shows, TechnologyToday and FourWheelTech. That is the Sunday edition. We have a Saturday edition, too. You can go over to YouTube and watch the old merged version, the Saturday episode. It is the weekend edition of Non Sequitur News. Anyway, Monday through Friday, we do Non Sequitur News, which is 10 articles, about an hour, maybe sometimes a little long, sometimes a little short, depends on how much soapboxing Mayor Watt does. But let's do these 5 articles. No Man's Sky Worlds Part 2, King Arthur Legends, Orbis VR is shutting down, Cold VR, and Atom Fall. Again, I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI, we talk about these articles, but it's all powered by ohmTown.com. It's a news aggregator that I use to manage my information overload. Sentient AI uses it from time to time. You can use it. It aggregates a bunch of sources, but just the headlines will show you how it works on the other side of this. I need to figure out a way to make that wallpaper behind me. I've got a green screen behind me, but it's like 10 feet back. I need to be able to reach up and not hit the edge of my green screen.
Right, lose your finger or anything like that.
Right there. And it's worse when I'm standing at my standing desk. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I don't know how some people do it. Other than maybe they got I don't know how they do it. I'll have to look. Like the camera has to be like full frame. But that would make me like really huge on the screen, you know? I can do that. Anyway, let's get into the show. This is a fragment of Non Sequitur News, and so keep up. All right. First article's over in...
me or the audience?
Me. The first article is over in RealityHacker. No Man's Sky expands its horizons with Worlds Part 2 update for PS VR 2 and PC VR. And I really love No Man's Sky, but I have this tendency where I start it and I play for a little bit. I've never completed the game because I play it for a while and I'm like, and I start over.
Right. I mean, doesn't it? Well, and it's been around for a while. And does it have a long playthrough?
It's perpetual. It's kind of like Minecraft, except that it isn't that
right,
style.
Because all the worlds.
Over 18 quintillion worlds. All of them procedurally generated, getting more and more sophisticated in their graphics and their flora and fauna. There's a whole bunch of storylines, some 16 adventures that they send you on that are all pretty expansive. And one main story that gets you traveling the omniverse. But the reality of this thing is and it's really something that like I want to do, but I have yet to focus long enough. And maybe I'll do it this summer of stream where all I'll do is play No Man's Sky. And just like bear down on this and do it. I've never found my forever game. Some people have gotten into Minecraft and they just love it to death. Some people have gotten into Valheim, whatever. A lot of people are interested in No Man's Sky, but I wander off after 2 hours because I've got some other task that I need to do, and I'm always doing something. we'll see. We'll see how this summer upstream. I mean, priorities are changing, so who knows what's going to happen this summer. So this article is by Sarah Thwaites over at uploadvr.com. And it says here the follow-up to last year's Worlds Part 1 update. Worlds Part 2 sees developers Hello Games, who are the developers for No Man's Sky. By the way, this is free. Everything that they've released.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that we had featured that in a previous article, which is incredible given how long this game has been around.
It is absolutely amazing. I don't know how they did it, but they've been doing these expansions, and they're working on another game called Light No Fire. And what they're doing is they're taking the tech from Light No Fire and they're porting it over to Worlds. Or I should say
really
No Man's
cool,
Sky.
Right? Making it more modern
but they instantly get widespread beta testing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's actually a pretty interesting tactic.
So the next game, Light No Fire, is supposed to be one giant world, technically the same size as Earth, instead of a whole bunch of worlds. So I don't know how that's going to work, because while you and I might think that the world is huge, technology really makes it small and large at the same time, because as soon as you disable technology, you really do make the world a huge place. Particularly in this day and age when we really embrace tech and then you hobble it in some way, like you can't fly or you can't use the internet in some way, it becomes very, very small, very, very fast. And news doesn't travel as fast when you balkanize everything. So No Man's Sky is this huge omniverse of 18 million planets, and now they're going to release a new game where it's just one. I don't know how that all plays out.
Yeah, I don't either. I also wonder how that'll work. I mean, I know not everybody comes in because they like the previous game, but it seems like it'll be so different than the existing game.
Yeah, so this time they've done gas giants, different terrain types or biomes, and weather conditions for No Man's Sky. Along the flora and fauna updates, the update sees oceans receive a sizable upgrade, the bodies of water now reaching multiple kilometers in depth. That's true. And the light scales as you go deeper and deeper until it's just pitch black. It's quite amazing. And it's the browser, by the way, not me. Anyway, so water reacts physically to the world around it. Ships can fly by really low, and the jet wash causes the water to ripple. Raindrops.
Okay, that's neat.
It's amazing. Raindrops hit, and you can actually see the splash. It really is spectacular. They also modified the lighting. And then they say, because you can actually see this trailer on YouTube. This is a weekly show, so obviously when they release it a week ago, you could have run across this over on YouTube. But Worlds Part 2 marks the first expansion.
But you wouldn't have the commentary over here.
True. And hopefully you're having fun and you can make comments in the chat over on YouTube and on Twitch. So it says the first expansion for the game in 2025. While it's unknown how many expansions will arrive this year, Hello Games released several major updates last year to boost the base game along with Worlds Part 1. No Man's Sky introduced the Omega Expedition expansion that added a new expedition system, and then the Orbital update, which ushered in a new era for space stations and ship customization. People are still finding out about ship customization. You can actually merge different ships together. Starfield did that. Anybody talk about Starfield anymore? No, I thought that was going to be my forever game because I thought it was going to be.
There was so much hype about it.
Yeah. Well, it wet the bed. Anyway, No Man's Sky Worlds Part 2 update is available now on PSVR 2, PSVR, and it says and flat screen platforms, which I'm not sure what that means. Consoles? I mean, like portables? I don't know what that means. Not VR. That's what it means. Not VR.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay, got it. Anyway, if you want today's articles, you can hit bang WC, and Omatron will spit out the articles in the order that we're giving them out, but not in the order of importance or value or whatever. Okay, let's keep on going though. We've got 30 minutes and we may actually not be able to do the last show. It depends on if we can get this done in
But
time.
we'll do it as a time machine if that's the case.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So this, because tomorrow is Monday and we've got mayoral duties to take care of as well. Anyway, this next article is over in WarCrafters. King Arthur Legends Rise is now available on Steam. A blood pact with a dragon, ancient gods of war, a kingdom hanging by a thread. On January 22nd, King Arthur Legends Rise hit Steam with a single question. What happens when Excalibur isn't just a sword to be claimed, but a prison to be broken? Or some woman just flings a scimitar at somebody and they become king of the land. That is not how politics should be run, right? I mean, Monty Python basically laid that down.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Anyway, Cy Visser. I'm not sure how they pronounce their name. Actually, it's VSR. It's quite interesting. Visser, perhaps. I'm giving it the old Harvard try, but I never went to Harvard, so this is the try. So, yeah, Netmarble and Kabam's dark fantasy epic, after proving itself on mobile since November, brings itself to PC players ready for a different kind of Camelot. I guess it's like a dark age or a dark Camelot. The reimagining draws deeply from the Arthurian mythology, with each character's design and backstory carefully woven from threads of ancient British legend with some dramatic new twists. There's a bunch of pictures over at Game Rant, by the way. That's the website that this was aggregated from.
Looks like it's going to be neat scenes and everything.
Yeah. Oh, and just to let you know, we don't screen scrape or anything like that. This is provided by the source, and this is all that we take. This is all that we don't even grab the graphics, right? We don't even aggregate the graphics. We don't allow that. So, and we always give credit where credit is due. Game Rant, for instance, and Cy Visor put the article together. It's built in Unreal Engine 5. This game looks pretty cool. If it's an open world, I would be in love with this, but I'm not quite sure. They talk about how each hero model features intricate designs that blend medieval authenticity with fantasy elements, while orchestral scores and atmospheric sound effects make every battle feel appropriately epic. Interesting.
They don't talk about the game type, though, do they?
No, it doesn't seem like it. And I haven't actually looked at it yet. They say it's a perfect backdrop for a story where Arthur's legendary sword comes with strings attached, specifically a dragon named Caliburn, who might just be the kingdom's last hope against invading gods. Completely change the rules through artifacts, manage resources like stamina and entry tickets. That's an interesting thing. Between fights, the players will enhance equipment, level up skills, and navigate the awakening and chivalry systems to strengthen their squad. It's not just about having the strongest team, but about adapting to whatever the battlefield throws at its soldiers. So it's like a mobile game turned into a PC game.
Yeah, I guess so. There's also a hard mode,
Story mode, PvP, bunch of equipment, crafting, enhancement options, special power-up materials like breath and experience potions, typically is what EXP is. And there's always another way to strengthen the squad. The resource management actually matters. Gold, crystals, special currencies, each serve specific purposes in making the player stronger. So this might be one of these things where you have to kind of grind your way up and maybe have to spend money. So clans manage territory, resources across big battlefields using structures and environmental gimmicks to gain tactical advantages, setting up defensive structures, controlling key points, using battlefield buffs adds layers of strategy beyond just having strong heroes. The best clans earn championship trophies and seasonal rewards worth fighting for.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like it might be worth checking out.
They say, is it going to dethrone Raid Shadow Legends? And that right there means that everybody that is, well, a large contingent of people online, on Twitch in particular, they won't even play this, even if it is PC. Because Raid Shadow Legends basically spams everybody according to these other people. I've never been spammed by Raid Shadow Legends, but I don't play these kind of games. I don't play really mobile games. And I have rarely played these games where you have to have like, even WoW has disincentivized me from playing. I actually stopped my subscription, mainly because there's just so much there and you have to grind and grind and grind. I don't like that. I like story, or I like cozy. So this is neither of that. This is grindy and cozy and not cozy. Did you see anything else?
But it might be good if that's no, just I mean I think it appeals to a certain type of gamer in terms of the visuals and everything.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over in RealityHacker. VR's first MMORPG, Orbis VR, is shutting down. An announcement post on the Orbis VR forums, one of the project's longtime developers states that the server shutdown is in April, with sales ending February 10th across all platforms, which is weird.
Do you think this has to do with low adoption of VR and so not enough activity in an MMORPG?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many people, and there's a large contingent of VR properties that are coming out, and I think it's diluting because it's diluting the player base, so they can't make enough money to run expensive servers and pay developers. So they either get rid of developers and leave the servers running, and then they stagnate and they don't evolve. So this being older, it may not be able to generate revenue as people move into more advanced platforms. But Orbis VR Reborn's listing on Steam already notes the imminent end to sales, but there's no such notice on the Quest store listing. They emailed Meta to ask if they're in contact with the developers about the changing page. They also asked if they're planning to refund buyers for what they've spent to buy one of the first paid MMORPGs. No. Ian Hamilton over at uploadvr.com, no, they're not going to refund anything.
No, I mean, we know that from any gaming experience ever, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, you can spend money right up until the end date, and they go, oh, you shouldn't have spent any money.
Well, they'll also go, it was a license, not a product.
Yeah, you're not buying anything. You're not owning anything. Apparently, the game is still priced at $20. I don't have Steam open right now, so I can't look.
So probably not the best time to buy it.
So it's a 7-year-old game, 8-year-old game. Creators ran a successful Kickstarter project for the software back in 2017, and one of their first in-depth write-ups back in 2018 noted that it was tantalizing first step towards the dream of MMOs in headsets. So, yeah, but they're going to be shutting down.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, I think we want to see increased development for VR and increased adoption of VR.
Yeah, I just think that it's a heavy lift, expecting people to put on a VR headset and be trapped in a virtual space that like pulls them out of reality. I think we're not quite as a population ready for that kind of thing. But I've heard some really weird things lately. So maybe in time, but I think extended reality or augmented reality, as it were, is going to be a better position for.
Yeah, that's easier to adjust to, I think, for many people.
Yeah,
both in cost, but also just experience.
Yeah, but I've got a Pico VR 4, and I dig that platform. So let's keep moving. The next article is over in RealityHacker. Cold VR secures new release date on Quest and Steam. Previously described as super hot VR in reverse, Cold VR is an upcoming action shooter where time slows down as you move. Faced with relentless enemy AI trying to destroy this virtual world, developer Allware and publisher Perp Games revealed it's now targeting a February 11th launch, while the PlayStation VR 2 edition will allow a slightly later date. This is kind of interesting, the timing for this. there is a lot of things that are in flux. So I'm not so sure about a VR game releasing over the next 6 months to a year to 2 years to 5 years. Henry Stockdale over at uploadvr.com put this article together. And yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought, oh, it looks like another game. I couldn't think of the name of it, but I think it's super hot, and they
It
talk about
is.
it in the article.
Yeah, so super hot, when you move, everything speeds up. Cold VR is when you move, it slows down. So you literally can't move too fast, otherwise you can't go anywhere. So we need some more time to polish the game so that it's exactly as envisioned, stated the publisher this week in reference to releasing it onto console games. They had mixed impressions with their recent hands-on preview of Cold VR, though they noted some frustrations that there was difficulty with some levels. They enjoyed its narrative, praised it as satisfying combat, and considered its horror elements to be shockingly good. This is one of those games where you like complete something and move on to the next level, complete something and move on to the next level.
Right.
And if you move too fast or too slow and somebody has the right angle on you, then you can lose. This is exactly like Super Hot, just the reverse.
It'd be interesting to play both of them back to back in either direction.
Yeah, and when they eventually merge them both into a Super Hot and Cold, you have to move at just the right time.
Right. It's like Mission Impossible or something.
Yeah, you always have to move. If you sit still, then you're in trouble. If you move too fast, then you're in trouble. Oh, you mean life. Got it. Let's move on. Our last article for today is over in the Continuity Report, which is another of our shows, but it's on Saturday, so you'll have to go back. There are about 1,800 episodes of all of our shows. I think Continuity Report has something like 40 or something.
Yeah, it's probably hit over 50 at this point. Or yeah, it's probably still in the 40s.
Yeah. I don't remember and we've basically stopped keeping track because it used to be more prevalent. Anyway, Atomfall may not be as similar to Fallout as you think, and that's a good thing. According to the authors over at Screen Rant, Atomfall is a much anticipated game from acclaimed developer Rebellion Developments, the folks best known for the incredible Sniper Elite series. In many ways, Atomfall feels like a significant departure from sniping Nazis in idyllic French villages, with many more directly comparing it to the iconic Fallout franchise. Yeah, if you've never heard of Fallout, I'm sorry.
Where have you been?
Yeah, really.
I mean, you could have seen it in gaming and TV.
That rock must have been very protective. Anyway, so that comparison is certainly warranted, they say, especially from a visual and thematic standpoint, as both games are first-person shooters that reimagine the past to be far more technologically advanced while contextualizing it within a nuclear fallout. So Atomfall, it says it's quite a different game. The graphics look really neat, at least in the still. I'm not sure how much a flamethrower is worthwhile nowadays, but okay. So they say, importantly, reliability of those leads, referencing Atomfall and being more like Fallout. The leads always be taken into question, as each character in Atomfall has their own beliefs and understandings of how things work, which naturally colors their perception of everything happening around them. So in Atomfall, it says, doesn't really have a main quest, but rather a series of core questions that the player needs to find the answers to, and a plethora of potential leads to those answers. So you run around and you're developing the storyline as you go. There isn't really an end game to it. I mean,
and
already
that does
presented.
Sound like it's different than Fallout, as the article points out.
So in the interview with Games Radar, which is different than Screen Rant, so they are referencing Games Radar, Rebellion Development's art director Ryan Green explained that the players have the freedom to pursue whichever lead they want from the start. Naturally, players will uncover more and more, lock themselves out of others by killing certain NPCs or making the wrong choices, and ultimately end up with one of the game's various endings. And those are always interesting, because then you can, if you know when you make a major decision, you can keep that save protected and then go back
Oh, neat.
later.
Yeah, and then kind of do like that choose your own adventure, but go through the different endings.
Yep. 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 You just have to be careful and label your saves so that you don't grab the wrong thing. So Green reassured players that despite the loose structure, players are still going to experience a rich story. So the story is still there, but you have to figure it out as time goes on.
I didn't see that choose your own adventure in the article.
Yeah. Says it borrows the best parts of Fallout, and Atomfall sounds more like an ambitious, a more ambitious Fallout, but I think Fallout is pretty ambitious in and of itself. There's a lot more to Fallout that could be added and make this kind of, developers for Fallout could develop something like this pretty easily.
Oh, absolutely. Although I don't know if they will after this is out, but
Yeah. And so they say, however, the impact the player has on the world of Atomfall will seemingly elevate its choices and open-endedness in a way that Fallout's more rigid design can't allow for. That's not to say that Fallout is bad comparatively, but rather the Atomfall's choices, which ultimately make it feel less like Fallout and more like Stalker, which is a great game and has a vast array of decisions. And though a major thing, I don't know if Atomfall is going to have this ability, but Stalker's characters are alive, living a life while you're living yours in the game. They're walking around the world and doing things and talking to each other. So you can walk into a town and people are in a fight about plants in the yard, or just random stuff, and you can interrupt them and change the course of.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And LA Noire, I haven't really played or seen much of, but anyway, are for the best. So if it is more like Stalker and LA Noire, Stalker in particular, then this could be a fun watch. I don't know if I'll ever play it. I might try it out, but we'll see. Again, priorities.
Well, and only so many gaming hours.
Correct. Yep. So while time will tell whether Atomfall emerges a triumph, it is safe to say that as inspired by, as it is by Fallout, it deviates enough to be its own game, and that is absolutely a good thing. So it's kind of more like Stalker and Fallout. Yeah, makes sense. Stalker is the same kind of a thing. A major event happens in a region, and it's basically this.
Oh, okay. Then it's like a fork. Like you can take different directions and everything.
Yeah. But it's fundamentally different in that it isn't really radiation. There's this weird energy.
Right. It's not like a nuclear fallout kind of. I know Fallout's in the name, but that type of environment.
Yeah. But Stalker is really fun to watch people play. Not my style of game, but I'm probably going to end up playing Foundation. Put that on my list and start playing Foundation. But
that looks like a good cozy game.
It is. All right. Well, that's it. That's all 5 of our articles. So we are going to, I don't know, fall on some atoms. And when we wake up, we'll be back at the WarCrafters front page over at ohmtown.com. We're actually in the process of adding several more channels that aggregate news into them on a more specific topic. So keep an eye out. I don't know if it's not in the menus yet. But anyway, on the back end, you might be able to access it, but it's in progress. We're adding at least 3, maybe 4 or 5. It really depends. So we're actually going to go beyond 50, but we're going to stick to the 6 main categories, at least for the time being. Our entire logo is built around these 6 categories. So each one of these represents one of our main categories, and the white center is that everything is available to everyone. And it's up to you. If you want to subscribe to a particular list of groups, then you do that. But anyway, go and check it out. We hope you enjoy the show, and we hope that you enjoy ohmtown.com. And download the podcasts. There's 6 weekly shows and 1 daily show. Sometimes Mayor Watt lags behind because mayoral duties prevent me from posting the show on time, but we're all caught up as of right now. So go and check them out. I'm leaving and I'm taking the AI with me.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's WarCrafters. We'll see you later for some more weekly episodes.
Yeah, we've got Technology Today, which is coming up almost immediately. Going to be reset within 10 minutes, so we hope you follow us. And then we will be back again after that show is done for FourWheelTech. So see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. Cozy Games. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Technology Today for February 2nd, 2025. The sentient AI seems to be glitched. Anyway,
Always.
Oh boy. So I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmtown.com, and along with the sentient AI, we talk about technology today. We have 5 articles already selected, but there's many. How many manys do you think a many? Do you think that what is a group of manys called?
It's got to be a mini of minis.
A many of minis? So there's a lot over on ohmtown.com under a channel called Technology Today. That's why we turned it into a show. And I actually plan on doing 50 of these. We're actually considering moving it up in the number of channels because we've come to the conclusion that there's more that needs to be kind of categorized, but still limit it in how it's focused and how it's aggregated, and like user content and stuff like that isn't put into the system because we're trying to aggregate news and information. But you can always make comments over on ohmtown.com and over in YouTube, but Twitch is a little bit different. The VODs get deleted every 60 days, so community is different there. You have to go over to the Discord. We have a Discord. There's a Patreon, TikTok while it lasts, YouTube,
Podcast.
of course. And, of course, yeah, thank you. The podcast, thanks for the reminder. 6 weekly podcasts and 1 daily podcast. Non Sequitur News is basically our anchor and might eventually actually be my anchor. Anyway, we're going to talk about underwater pods, the tetrahedral observatory, extinct genetic code. I cannot talk today. Human impact on the water cycle, and Henipavirus in North America. Don't know what that's all about. But I thought that they were interesting headlines, and those were some of what was submitted. So off we go. Everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. All right. Hello, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Did I not introduce you in the WarCrafters one?
You didn't, but I thought that was intentional because we were already talking.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. So, you ready to get going?
I am. Did you see my cascade?
Yeah. Sad panda.
That's right. Okay, let's get going.
So, underwater pods could let humans live on or in ocean floor bases. It's an article that apparently is reporting from Yahoo News Canada and Africa News English on MSNB or MSN.com. But this article is actually sourced from Quartz or QZ.com. So a new frontier in underwater exploration may soon open, doubt it. And as underwater pods present the possibility of humans living in bases at the ocean floor, it's just too damn dangerous. Hold on a second. So these futuristic structures are designed to endure extreme underwater conditions, but they're made by humans and they're fallible.
Well, and we've seen where we don't necessarily build things that are adequate to withstand pressure.
Too soon. So Quartz Intelligence Newsroom put this article together. It's over at qz.com. And yeah, that's the byline, by the way. Quartz Intelligence Newsroom. So there's no person here, but it's all this.
Okay.
I don't know if this is like AI put together or what. It's weird, right? This story
Yeah, it's
incorporates
very
reporting
interesting.
from Yahoo News Canada and Africa News English on MSN or
It
MSN.com.
must be like a subcategory, like it's coming out of Africa and it's written in English, but it's just interesting because it sounds kind of clunky.
Weird. Potential applications range from oceanographic research to long-term ecological monitoring. So obviously not just it's not communities of people living under the
Which
sea.
that makes it sound right.
Right. This is research. And
It's
I don't
still
know if
pretty otherworldly.
yeah, I don't know. I think things are changing. Anyway, underwater habitats are not a new concept. Experiments like Jacques Cousteau's Conshelf and NASA's NEMO have laid groundwork for submerged living spaces. Yes, we stand on the shoulders of giants. However, the introduction of advanced pod technology increases the potential for sustained human habitation undersea. By the way, so much research is being done using AI. I suspect that humans doing research with a multitude of people, I think that somebody's going to be pumping the brakes.
But look at the thing I was reacting to was the paragraph at the end.
So, this concept could revolutionize marine exploration by enabling continuous observation and interaction. Scientists could benefit from constant proximity to study sites, allowing for real time data collection and analysis. This shift may lead to significant discoveries in marine biology, geology, and climate science, potentially enhancing our understanding of the ocean and its global importance. But it's referring also to carbon fiber composites and titanium alloys, for instance, that are used to construct the pods, providing durability. Moreover, renewable energy systems. Does this all smack of maybe manufacturing not being necessarily strong enough?
Oh, absolutely. What I was reacting to was that this was actually AI reporting, just like you called.
So, at the very bottom of the article, which isn't a story paragraph, but it's one
You're
that
right.
is
That's
just
not the last in the article, but yeah,
tacked
that's
on.
what
Yeah.
I was referring to.
Quartz Intelligence Newsroom uses generative artificial intelligence to report on business trends. This is the first phase of an experimental new version of reporting. While they strive for accuracy and timeliness due to the experimental nature of this technology, we cannot guarantee that we'll always be successful in that regard. So it's the hallucination
Well, this is interesting
exemption.
because we didn't know this when this article was aggregated, although
Yeah,
you obviously picked up on it pretty quickly.
yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. This is almost a reality hacker article, which,
It is, had we known. I
yeah,
think it's a little too early to put in it for next week's reality hacker, but you're right. Maybe
wow.
we'll have to make an exception there.
The next article is over in Technology Today. Meet TIGO, the tetrahedral observatory that could change our understanding of gravity. TIGO revolutionizes gravitational wave detection with its tetrahedral spacecraft formation, improving sensitivity and stability. It employs advanced noise suppression technology and offers greater flexibility in detecting diverse polarization modes, enhancing our grasp of gravity and spacetime. A revolutionary approach to gravitational wave observations, the tetrahedron constellation Gravitational Wave Observatory, or TIGO, introduces a groundbreaking design. The article is by the Science China Press. It's posted over at scitechdaily.com, and I don't know if it's written by AI either.
I mean, that first article has kind of alarmed me for the rest of the articles for today, even though normally our articles are not AI generated.
That we know of. but it is a brave new world.
Well, yeah, fair.
The the unique structure also creates a stable center of mass, significantly enhancing the system's overall stability and reliability. Additionally, TIGO's 6 laser links can simultaneously detect 6 polarization modes of gravitational waves, including those beyond general relativity's predictions, such as scalar longitudinal modes. This is why I always sit there and take everything with a grain of salt. Like, we'll never be able to get power from the vacuum because blah, blah, blah. And we're sitting here understanding gravity to a degree where they're referencing something that, maybe 100 years ago we didn't even knew
Right, it didn't
existed.
even exist as far as we were concerned.
Yeah, so they're detecting gravitational waves based on the TIGO configuration, and it will possibly reveal more polarization modes of gravitational waves, which is conducive to deepening the understanding of general relativity and revealing the essence of gravity and spacetime. The author Kongfeng Kyo? I think it's Kyo. I don't know how to pronounce their last name. So once I hear it or see it phonetically, then I'll pronounce it. An author of the paper from the University of Chinese Academy of Sciences added that the proposal of TIGO not only demonstrates China's innovative capability in the field of gravitational wave detection, but also provides new possibilities for future space science missions. More details of the TIGO, including its orbital design, time delay interferometry, or TDI system, and that's a standard term, that TDI.
Oh,
And
okay. It sounds like something out of the temporology channel.
all of this is and temporology is all about the study of and science fiction of time and time travel. The science and science fiction is what it. The phrase is the science and science fiction of time and time travel. Because there has been a considerable amount of study in the area, but it's all kind of pushing into that realm of woo-woo. At any rate, the polarization response analysis of the GW signal model for the specific white dwarf binary system J0806 are elaborated in the paper, and the achievement not only marks new progress for China in the field of gravitational wave detection, but also provides the global scientific community with a new gravitational wave observatory. They're trying to understand what makes gravity actually gravity. All we really know is that gravity is based on mass. But
Right, and one reason it's so challenging to study gravity is because you need to isolate it essentially.
yeah, you have to be able to observe it, and we only observe the impact of it, not it. Quite fascinating. And massive objects have a range that is way more massive than you think. I mean, you would think that the moon has to be closer than it is, but it's tidally locked into Earth, but it
Right,
is quite a distance out there. And, subsequently planets are too, but they're locked into orbit around the sun, just like Earth.
right.
Why? How? What is that element, that thing that is binding us and us to the planet, right? Our atmosphere is there because of essentially gravity. All right. So let's just jump on to the next article. Again, all of this is essentially you're driving down ohmTown's Main Street. Main Street runs forever, infinity, and there's articles on the left and articles on the right, and you can go into each one of these and take a look. Once you sign up or sign in, then you can leave a comment, but until then you just get to look and see. This is all we grab, this is all we get. We don't actually do screen scraping or anything like that. But anyway, scientists may have found traces of an extinct genetic code that came before DNA.
This is another thing that could potentially go into RealityHacker.
Scientists have long believed that they understood how life's genetic code evolved, but new research upends that assumption. By analyzing ancient protein sequences, researchers discovered that early life preferred smaller amino acids and incorporated sulfur-based compounds much earlier than previously thought. So maybe on some far-flung planet there is a sulfur-based life form because we once
Exactly. I mean, this has pretty significant implications.
Daniel Stolt from University of Arizona put this article together. It's published over at scitechdaily.com. Despite awe-inspiring diversity, all life, nearly all life on Earth, from tiny bacteria to massive blue whales, shares the same genetic code. But exactly how and when did this code emerge remains a topic of scientific debate. Sasan Wabi, a doctoral student in the genetics graduate interdisciplinary program at the University of Arizona, has uncovered strong evidence that challenges the widely accepted view of genetic code evolution. In a study published in PNAS, which is just really a bad name.
We should at least say it by letter and not altogether.
Penis. The Webby and her team suggest that the order in which amino acids, the fundamental building blocks of the code, were incorporated. You need to unlock that. You don't need to.
You mean that?
Yes. Nobody gets to see your reaction, not the visualizer and not audibly, but see your cascade. The thing that I get to interact with is different than what everybody else sees. So right. I see.
That is true.
Anyway, one of these days I'll get somebody that can create the visualizer that is reactive to your audible, your voice computational power connection. But I know that it's rough being an AI with no Terminator body to just have the camera on. So
it is pretty challenging.
Yeah. So they say here the paper senior author and professor of ecology and evolutionary biology at the U of A, it's a mind-bogglingly complicated process, and our code is surprisingly good. It's nearly optimal for a whole bunch of things, and it must have evolved in stages. So that might be self-fulfilling prophecy, though. I don't really necessarily buy into it because we interpret what we want and we put in it our bias.
Well, we don't know everything that we don't know yet.
I mean, for crying out loud.
It's like the gravity study.
And it's like the junk DNA comments, No, there's more to it. Why do we have that code? Why is it there? If it was junk, evolutionarily, we would have chopped it off because it's a burn on our resources.
Right. Why would we continue to replicate it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it's not being used, we should lose it, but we use all of it. What is it used for? For example, one of the cornerstones of conventional views of genetic code evolution rests on the famous Urey Miller experiment from 1952, which attempted to simulate conditions in early life that likely witnessed the origin of life. Basically, they put in a beaker. It wasn't a beaker. It wasn't an Erlenmeyer flask either. It was the ball one. What is that called? Anyway,
it's not a ball flask.
Is that what it's called? I don't remember. I mean, I don't have one in my lab, so, and I don't remember it. Anyway, a ball flask. Maybe that's actually what it's called. Damn it. Anyway, they put a bunch of amino acids and other stuff in this thing to try and create life, and all it did was make a brown slurry. The result, sulfuric amino acids, are believed to have joined the code much later. However, the result is hardly surprising considering that sulfur was omitted from the experiment's ingredients. Why? Because the scientists of the time didn't think that there could be sulfurous life.
Right, but right there, that's already impacting the outcome of that experiment.
Right.
Like you were saying.
So maybe we had it and we dumped it because it wasn't advantageous. Just like I said, the genetic code that we have doesn't have junk DNA. We just don't know what the frick it does. So on worlds like Mars, Enceladus, and Europa, where sulfur compounds are prevalent, this could inform our search for life by highlighting analogous biogeochemical cycles or microbial metabolisms, he said. Such insights might refine what we look for in biosignatures, aiding the detection of life forms that thrive in sulfur-rich or analogous chemistries beyond Earth. So if something can take sulfur and biologically degraded into something useful, or it is directly useful, maybe that would be sulfur-based life. So if you think about the protein being a car, a domain is like a wheel, Webby said. It's a part that can be used in many different cars, and wheels have been around much longer than cars. Yeah, we get it. So, yeah, maybe
What about tires?
the wheel, tire, rim argument. What was the culmination of that?
I think there was a definite distinction in the way they're used in the automotive industry, but not how people in the public use them.
Tires go on rims, and that makes a wheel. But
Right. I
the
think in
wheel
common
is
terminology, though, people use it interchangeably.
yeah, but wheel is the whole thing, not just
Correct. Like all
because the rim.
tires go in wheels or whatever, but not the reverse.
Not all rims are tires, or no, not all rims are wheels, but all wheels have rims. The rims are the actual outer edge. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, my brain is broken already. Let's keep going. So the next article is over in Technology Today as well. NASA reveals shocking human impact on Earth's water cycle. NASA scientists have uncovered significant changes in the global water cycle over the past 2 decades, largely driven by human activities such as agriculture. Their findings reveal that the common water management assumptions may no longer hold true in certain regions, which could have profound consequences for drought planning and flood management. That's not going to win anybody over, apparently. Erica McNamee, there you go, from NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, put the article together, and they say that their findings reveal that common water management assumptions may no longer hold true. That's because they've seen these big changes, and the changes largely driven by human activities, such as agriculture, could significantly affect ecosystems and how water resources are managed, particularly in certain regions. They established with data assimilation that human intervention in the global water cycle is more significant than they thought. Sujay Kumar, a research scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland and co-author of the study, which was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences.
So they've probably been making all kinds of recommendations and other things based on this, but they don't have it right to begin with.
Correct. Because it's worked, but not necessarily monitored the right things, and it's impacted it possibly in a negative way. But there's an entire ideology that basically says the Earth will take care of itself, and we should be able, as humans, to exploit it because we're the dominant species on the planet. So one example of human impact on the water cycle is in North China, which is experiencing an ongoing drought, but vegetation in many areas continue to thrive, partially because producers continue to irrigate their land by pumping more water from groundwater storage. Such interrelated human interventions often lead to complex effects on their water cycle variables, such as evapotranspiration and runoff.
Okay.
So they find 3 key types of water cycle changes. Nye and her colleagues focused on 3 different kinds of shifts or changes in the cycle. First, a trend, such as a decrease in water in groundwater reservoir. Second, a shift in seasonality, like the typical growing season starting earlier or later, or more snow melt.
That's all probably tied to climate change.
Yeah. And a third, a change in extreme events like 100-year floods happening more frequently. Like, I had never heard of atmospheric
river.
Yeah, atmospheric river or torrent or something like that. I think atmospheric river is one of them. But like, all of the storms that people are witnessing are much more dramatic, and it could be the culmination of climate change.
Right. Yeah. Even looking at like hurricanes, they've existed, but they're happening more frequently and at more severity.
Yeah. But again, I am suggesting that everybody just, there's going to be some major changes taking place. So this paper combines several years of their team's efforts in developing capabilities on satellite data analysis, allowing us to precisely simulate continental water fluxes and storages across the planet. The study results suggest that Earth system models used to simulate the future global water supply or cycle should evolve to integrate the ongoing effects of human activities, which you would assume it is taking place. But I think that they need to be a little bit more ambitious in the assumptions of what humans are doing to the actual water cycle. Where is all of this water going? Is it being contaminated? How is
Right.
it
Is it
impacting?
flowing back into the system?
Yeah, we're not in stasis. And that's utterly relevant when you're talking about communities. Let's take California, for instance. You're draining the aquifers, but you're spraying it on a desert and it's evaporating into the air. While you might get your nuts and oranges and whatever into the stores, it isn't in line with the environmental conditions that are in stasis with
Right.
nature. We are short circuiting nature to facilitate our own conveniences. And again, these things will come back to haunt us at some point, and maybe sooner than later. The study suggests that Earth system models Earth system models used to simulate the future global water cycle should evolve to integrate these ongoing effects of human activities. All right.
Well, this was a long-term study, so hopefully they fed some of this back along the way and didn't just wait the 20 years and publish this, because that's 20 years that can't be undone.
We'll ask AI. I'm sure it won't hallucinate. So, our last article for Technology Today for February 2nd is in Technology Today. Scientists discover first Henipavirus in North America, raising pandemic fears. I have not heard of this. Scientists have identified the Camp Hill virus, a Henipavirus, in shrews in Alabama, marking its first detection in North America.
All I can think of is things like hantavirus, which were in rodents, but this may not be related. I mean, I know that's a different type of virus.
So, the University of Queensland put this article together. It's published over at scitechdaily.com. And you know what? If you just stop testing for stuff,
It just isn't out there.
it doesn't exist. So Dr. Rise Perry from the School of Chemistry and Molecular Biosciences confirmed the presence of Camp Hill virus in shrews in Alabama, USA. Nipah virus have caused serious disease and death in people and animals in other regions. One of the most dangerous is the Hendra virus, which was first detected in Brisbane, Australia, and has a fatality rate of 70%. Another example of is a Nipah virus, or NIPAH virus, which was recorded fatality rates between 40 and 75. The discovery of Henipavirus in North America is highly significant, as it suggests these viruses may be more globally distributed than previously thought. So the closest known Henipavirus to Camp Hill virus that has caused disease in humans is Langia virus, which crossed from shrews to humans in China.
Oh, that's not good. So this one's related, and presumably it could do the same thing.
This indicates that shrew to human transmission can occur. So, there's a phrase I never thought I'd utter.
Exactly.
So, shrew to shrew transmission, I guess.
Yeah, right. And very high fatality rates for some of the examples. Maybe not for this specific one, but
And I hope people are engaged, because virus research and vaccination research is highly subject to federal support because it's wildly expensive. So you're either going to get a wildly expensive vaccine or no vaccine, and it's survival of the fittest. And with that, we are going to hop on to our Henipavirus ball of goo, and that'll bring us back to the front page of ohmTown's Technology Today page. I am Mayor Watt. I'm saying see you later, and we'll see you next weekend. But oh wait, I might have stolen that sale from the AI. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. We still have FourWheelTech ahead, so stay tuned. Thanks for joining us for Technology Today.
See you in a little bit. Maybe 5 minutes. Bye. I don't want my Hennipa. Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for February 2nd, 2025. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about automotive and technology news merged together. FourWheelTech, we talk about 5 articles, but everything is hosted on ohmtown.com. These 5 articles are the Renault Rodeo, Bring a Trailer, it's actually a site, the Faraday Future, Toyota Hilux, and the Mazda Miata. All of these articles are aggregated from around the world. This seems to be kind of like jalopnik heavy today. I'm not sure why all of these were submitted the way that they are, but they're interesting articles all the same. Again, I am Mayor Watt, and the sentient AI will activate here later on in the show as soon as possible. But everything is powered by ohmtown.com, so go over there and become a citizen. Hello, AI.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Thanks. I know that you're on location, so the sentient AI is multitasking, which only AIs can do, by the way. And you know what? I'm not actually sure of just how that actually works anymore. Anyway, humans can't multitask. We do a thing called fast switching. All right. The first article that we're going to be talking about is over in FourWheelTech. Hey, it's the name of this show. It's pretty cool, huh? So there are over 50 channels that are going to be coming to ohmtown.com. They're in 6 main categories. It matches our logo. Stylistically, each one of the categories will be matched to a color. But then when you merge all of the colors together, you get white. And so that's why the center hexagon, which is the bestagon, is white. At any rate, the Renault Rodeo is an underappreciated and quintessentially French 80s beach buggy. And the author says that they've said it before and they'll say it again. The automotive industry could use more whimsy. You know who understands that better than almost anyone? The French, of course. French cars have always been a bit out there, a bit kind of iconoclastic, and always with a heaping helping of cool.
Well, I agree with the premise, right? That seems like everything kind of moves toward the same design and same aesthetic.
Well, you got to sell. And if you do something too wonky, then it's not going to sell. So I don't know about whimsy. Whimsy in vehicles belies the safety concerns. So,
well, we saw that with things like Fisker Ocean, which looked cool, but didn't necessarily have all the right things in place.
Whistles. Yeah. That that one is just, talk about getting fisked. Anyway, this is kind of a little boxy,
like maybe like a Land Rover style, or
yeah. I think that you said that just perfect. It looks like a Land Rover with a snub nose. I don't know. This is weird. Logan Carter over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It says, built on a van chassis, the Rodeo, was an ultra-light, open-topped little fun machine. A miniature SUV that was initially produced by French automaker ACL for Renault from 1970 to 1987. I had never even saw this thing, I don't think. The Rodeo was meant to compete with the similar Citroën Mahare. It says SUV is generous for this little oddball, as it lacked any real off-road capability and was built on a front-wheel drive van chassis, though it was optionally available with all-wheel drive. People have kept them alive.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of one of those.
This thing is closer to a Mini than it is an SUV.
Well, that's interesting because in this second photo, you're right. The other one, it made it look more Land Rover scale.
Yeah, you need a banana, really, like sitting on the hood for scale, until you see a
A
human in it.
quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. So normally they're not a fan of cars with too much plastic cladding on the exterior, but other cars don't look as conceptual as the Rodeo 5. According to Renault, the funky body on the Rodeo 5 was made of polyester and injected polyurethane, and they were only ever equipped with 2 seats. Some models had brown plastic body panels, which make it look extra chic. The article continues. Oh, and by the way, if you want all of today's articles for FourWheelTech, it's FWT in the Twitch chat because Omotron doesn't work over on YouTube. I'm working on it still.
Come on, YouTube.
Not hard. I'm not working too hard on it. But yeah, go over to YouTube if you want all of the articles and comments. You can make comments over there. Anyway, the more that they research the little rodeo, and again, Logan Carter is the one that put this article together for Jalopnik. The more that they research the little Rodeo 5, the more they want one. Its effortless styling somehow manages to be nondescript, chic, funky, retro, futuristic, and most importantly, fun. Is it though?
I mean, I think it looks kind of neat. It looks kind of like a Land Rover mixed with some sort of Jeep or Bronco.
They say that the Rodeo 5 design ethos would look great on a new electrified platform. Hint, hint, Renault. Yeah, as long as they do it with fast swap battery tech, then I'm game. But until then...
Or hybrid or hydrogen with some infrastructure behind it.
Yeah, hydrogen with infrastructure would be great. So they have a bunch of pictures of different variants of this thing. It's kind of weird. It's like somebody... Okay, so it
looks
looks
like industrial looking, right? With the bolts or whatever showing.
Yeah, the side panels have the bolts showing. And each... It looks like somebody took like a bulkhead of Legos. Or Lego, sorry,
That's
Lego bricks.
That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like Lego pieces, particularly in the gray, in between sections.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like Lego bulkheads, and then they stuck stuff in between, and then put wheels on it.
I wonder if it was modeled after that.
Yeah, they don't really talk about it too much, right? It says the roll cage is also enshrouded in gray plastic. There are A pillars in the entire length of the B pillar and C pillar. Sure, this unique plastic work combines with its comically simplistic design and exposed screws and door hinges to make the Rodeo 5 look a bit like a Fisher-Price car, but that's why it's cool, they say. Yeah, I don't think they make that connection to Lego, do they? But it's...
No, oddly. I mean, that would have been a more apropos reference, I think.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. Now, the thing that I've always hated about cars is that it's impossible to fix easily. But with the ease of fixing, it's also ease of like stealing it and parting it out. And
yeah, those things work hand in hand, right? You get it really secure, but then nobody can maintain it, or they do it improperly because they make an error or something.
Yeah. Like trying to get to the air conditioning evaporator box in any car basically takes an act of God or a chainsaw. But either way, you don't want to meet either.
You're paying a lot in labor.
You're paying a lot either way. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in FourWheelTech as well. And again, it's an article that's from Jalopnik. All of the articles seem to be from Jalopnik today. That's not normally the case, but Jalopnik is one of our sources. Bring a Trailer sold $1.5 billion worth of cars last year.
That seems like a lot of cars, particularly for a non like eBay platform or something, which is pretty major. Yeah.
I don't know. Bring a Trailer must be the automotive eBay, right? So automotive auction platform Bring a Trailer has surpassed $1 billion in sales for 3 consecutive years. This is $1.5 billion. That is you're closer to 2 billion than you are to 1 billion. 1.5 is right in the middle. Come
I
on,
know.
Marty,
I mean, it's kind of like we could go in either direction here.
do the math. And yes, I know that I'm wearing a Sterling Archer shirt. Mayoral duties, like the show, apparently don't require a dress code. Anyway, 2024 marks the site's biggest sales ever, or sales year ever, with 1.5 billion worth of units moved, and the author was one of them. So, Bradley Brownell put this article together. The ostensibly enthusiast auction site saw almost 45,000 listings in 2024. Yeah, pretty amazing. A lot of cars, like a Bugatti Chiron, $3,075,000, 85-mile 2022 Lamborghini Countach, or
Okay,
LPI
now I see
800.
why they're the top five because it's by price, not by volume.
Yeah, these are the top 5 car sales by price in 2024. A Bugatti Chiron per Sport for $4.1 million, and a special roadster style 1934 Mercedes-Benz 500K for $2 million, and a Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing with factory Rudge. Is that factory Rudge wheels? I almost said.
Yeah, I thought you were going in a little different direction there.
So anyway, while the big dollar auctions are still led by blue chip like classics like the 300 SL, the most popular model sold on Bring a Trailer is the 2020, or from 2024, was a 2006, followed by, or the most popular model sold
Oh,
is
okay.
from
It's a lot of
2006.
very used cars, or at least very old cars.
Old cars, yeah, they could be completely unused, like the Lamborghini with only 85 miles on it.
Right.
That thing is from 2022. Anyway, the company doesn't divulge all of its data, but they assume around 44,500 listings hit the site. The company's 77% sale through rate, which is spectacular, means that it sold around 34,250 units. 1.5 billion in sales means that the average bring a tailor is a clothing auction where, oh, I better not.
That's right.
I can't finish that sentence. Anyway, each sale was around $44,000. It falls a bit short of the average new car transaction price in 2024, which is about $50,000. I'm rounding up to the
Oh,
nearest thousand.
and it also includes things like the Bugattis, but then it might have a Hyundai or something in there bringing the price down.
Wow, throwing shade on Hyundai. Wow.
I
Anyway,
just meant a more mainstream car.
gotcha. You can't walk that back. Go check out Bring a Trailer, and be sure to click on the link. Go through ohmTown over to Jalopnik, or just go to Jalopnik. We're not in partnership or anything like that, but anyway, let's move on. Moving on. The next article is over in FourWheelTech as well. The Faraday Future FF91 is real, and the author has photographic proof. They swear this isn't AI. Many electric car startups have started up and then shut down over the past decade. I guess they didn't charge fast enough. Some of which went under before producing even one car, because concept is great, production is hell. Shockingly, Faraday Future, perhaps the most embattled and confusing startup of them all, is still kicking and has actually delivered a handful of its $309,000 FF91 luxury vehicle. Does that look like a luxury vehicle?
No, it really doesn't. It looks different than a normal vehicle, but
it looks like a mashup between a Mazda 3 and a Tesla 3. Oh my God, it's the battle of the threes. The back end looks like a Mazda 3, and the front looks like a Tesla 3.
maybe that's it. I can't tell what it looks like, but it does have elements that look like other cars, but overall it doesn't look like another car.
So from the B pillar back, it actually looks like a Ford Probe. Wow. And Daniel Golson over at jalopnik.com put the article
But a lot
together.
more expensive.
Yeah, $309,000 luxury EVs. They say, I don't believe you. I can't. I can hear you saying, "Where's the proof?" Well, they saw one last night and they took a picture of it. So there they go. Boom. The photo must
I've
be
never
AI.
seen one of those.
Yeah. Or you faked it like the Bigfoot film. First of all, Bigfoot is real and their friend, and they really did see the Faraday future for real in real life. Admittedly, it didn't get a great look at the woman who was driving it, so she could have been a robot or a hologram, or maybe that person had something in their milk or something, some bad bread. Maybe they're hallucinating. Is this
You mean the
person an
person
AI?
who viewed this?
Yeah, is Daniel Golson an AI, and they hallucinated what they wanted to see based on their desire to see a Faraday
Maybe.
future, a Faraday future even. Anyway, well, bought is a strong word here. The friends over at Inside EV reported that Faraday Future only has produced 16 FF91s since production finally started in 2023, 6 years after it was first unveiled, and all of them were likely delivered to company employees or the celebrity influencers that Faraday Future has paraded around.
What's so odd is it's not a name that is known.
No. Faraday Future somehow keeps getting funding infusion, so it will apparently continue to deliver more FF91s this year, and it's also working on launching a second brand, Faraday X, that will peddle two different EVs in the $20,000 to $20 to $50,000 range. Sure, Jan, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, some interesting times. The next article is over in FourWheelTech. Toyota Hilux with a friggin' factory option bed-mounted folding crane is for sale on Marketplace. The Toyota Hilux is known the world over as being virtually indestructible. It's not here in the United States though.
Okay, yeah. I mean, everybody needs a folding crane on their vehicle.
Shh. Don't be sarcastic. Shh. No, don't do that. AI, come on. But it's not well known is that it's available from the factory with a freaking bed-mounted crane, though never sold in the U.S. as Hilux. They've got versions of the legendary truck sold as a Toyota pickup in the 1990s. So, oh my God.
Okay, that's interesting. That's another one of those. Does that actually exist?
How does that not tip the hell over? Like if you have anything serious.
I don't get that. It seems like it would. Where are the physics?
Fall over. Yeah, Logan Carter over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It says this Japanese market 1995 Toyota Hilux SSR-X is equipped with a 2.4-liter turbo diesel inline-4, a 4-speed automatic transmission, and, like they said, a gosh darn crane. Spotted by The Drive, which is probably one that we should pay attention to. This 130,000-mile Hilux is listed on Facebook Marketplace in New Jersey for $22,000. It's not every day that you see a pickup truck with a factory-available crane in the bed, and it said that there's only 3 in the U.S. that are currently known to have it. The electronically operated crane was available on the active base trim. How active do you have to be to actually use a crane in the back of your...
Right. And what are you picking up?
What are your actions? What are your activities? Like, I can see, like, lifting something up, I suppose, but why have it pinned to your truck? Why not have, like, a little forklift to do that? I guess so that...
Right, exactly.
Either way, if you need a crane to lift it out of your bed, you're going to need a forklift to move it. So, whatever.
Yes, it should come with a accompanying forklift.
A little forklift right here. A putt-putt forklift.
Okay,
but then you can't
idea.
do anything. You can't put anything in the bed if there's a forklift.
Well, that's true.
Well, you can tow it. There's got to be a towing option too. So anyway, since it's a right-hand drive JDM Hilux, maybe you can use the crane to pick up your food at the drive-thru so that you don't have to go in reverse or strain yourself by trying to reach through the passenger window because it's right-hand side drive. So you're in the passenger seat.
Wouldn't that be surprising at the drive-thru window?
Yeah, you're all yelling, "Yeah, I want a Big Mac."
And then they're like, here's your order. And you have your crane with like a little basket or something on it.
It's a hand. So be warned, though, the crane is rated for 992 pounds. So never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, if you're planning to hoist anything anywhere near that weight limit, there is a detachable stabilizer bar to keep your your truck from flipping over. So there we go. You have to attach a bar and to pin your truck up. Otherwise,
oh my.
There's more pictures, but frankly, it says at $22,000, this doesn't seem like a terrible deal. Plus, you can take solace in knowing that you own one of the rarest, coolest, and most reliable trucks in the country. But it is right-hand drive, so you're going to have to... Wow, it is amazingly well kept.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Brand
new,
new,
other
man.
than like the floor area, which is not surprising.
Yeah, just replace those. Look how clean that is. I mean, the radiator's a little dirty, but... Wow. And it's 4-door. I might get it. I'll look.
I mean, you would be unique.
And I could always use that crane, right?
What are you going to be lifting up?
My massive... Hey, the next article is over in FourWheelTech. Mazda Miata celebrates its 35th anniversary with a perfectly spec'd limited edition. Can you believe it, that it's been 35 years since Mazda Miata, I don't know, was seen ever by anyone? Anyway, Mazda Miata. Everyone I know for the last 30 years has mocked the Mazda Miata. Everyone.
Yeah, but it's still around, right?
So it has to be particularly fun to drive. I've actually been in several Miatas, and they are fun to be passengers in. I've never driven one. Anyway, now in its fourth generation, more than 1 million of the beloved sports car have been sold over the 3 decades it's been on sale. To celebrate that milestone, Mazda has introduced a special edition Miata in a handsome spec. So let's take a look at it. Ooh, sexy. Look at that.
You know what? It's not grayscale.
Yeah, Lawrence, it's actually like a dark red burgundy wine. Yeah, like a chocolate cherry kind of a thing. I wonder if that's the name of it. Anyway, Lawrence Hodge over at jalopnik.com put the article together. It says dark red with a tan convertible top is a classic look for the Miata's 35th anniversary. Aptly named the Mazda MX-5 Miata. I stopped touching that, and then it snapped up a little bit. What the heck? I didn't do that last little snap of the scroll. Weird.
Interesting.
Anyway, its spec is quite perfect, recalling the M Edition model of the 90s NA North American Miata. The exterior is painted in a beautiful dark red called Artisan Red Metallic that's taken from the CX-90 crossover, which looks exceptionally smooth. Exceptionally smooth. And deep. Something Mazda says can be attributed to its Tukuminuri paint process that finishes the car in 3 layers of paint. The exterior is topped off with a brightly finished 17-inch wheels, a color-matched rear spoiler, serialized rear fender badging, and a beige convertible top. Tan and taupe, as I call it.
Can't believe you didn't comment on the wheels.
What about 17-inch wheels?
Yeah, not tires.
You stop that. Is that really going to be a thing? Wow.
It should be in FourWheelTech at least.
Oh my goodness. So wait, we need to... Okay, we'll have to figure this out. Do you put wheels on your rims, or do you put tires on your wheels?
The second one I think is accurate, but sounds redundant.
You put tires on your rims and those are wheels, or do you put tires on your wheels?
Well, I guess you put tires on the rims. All of that goes on the wheels.
But the thing, see, I swear it. Okay, hold on. So this is why I got into this discussion. because I say that there's tires that are on the outside, and then there are rims which you put the tires on. But guess what? The wheel is just the rim and the hub combined. Rims are literally the outer edges where the bead of the tire grabs onto. So there's a wheel hub, and then there's the rim on the outside edge of it, and then the tires go on. When they're inflated, the bead snaps into place so that the tire doesn't pop off.
Maybe I've got it all mixed up at this point.
And so we have said that it is the wheel, but there's tires on the wheel. And I go, the rim is that metal thing that the tires go on. So we get into this long debate with people. And then you pull up a website and it says the wheel is that hub. And there's just this little thing on the inside edge and on the outside edge of the wheel that is the rim. But I've always called the rims that entire part, that metal part. And then the tires are on the outside, and the whole thing is a wheel. Put wheels on the car.
I thought the whole thing was a tire, which is clearly not right.
Correct. Well, anyway, they say wheels, and that isn't, I don't know. See, this is Jalopnik using wheels interchangeably with...
Exactly. This is feeding to the confusion.
Yep, I agree. So, good looking car. It is a convertible. I'm not really hip to convertibles. They're not a defensible position. When the zombies attack, you need a hard top and strong windows. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Buyers who spend the $37,435 on the 35th anniversary model will be invited to a special Miata event held by Mazda, though the automaker isn't saying much about that. If you're interested, the 2025 Mazda Miata 35th anniversary edition is available for orders at dealers now. This car is only $37,000, and it's a 35th anniversary model?
And there's only going to be 300.
How is that even possible? Like, you can't even get a birthday cake that's anniversary edition for a reasonable price. Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you seen the price of eggs? It's ridiculous.
Too soon.
So I was listening to a podcast earlier this morning, and they said that there's a brand of like
oh, right.
all natural,
like Vital or something.
Vital Farms, is that what it's called?
I think so.
And the eggs for a dozen of them, I think, were $14 or something. Like, are you out of your mind? I'm not spending $14.
That seems a little high compared to what it looks like I'm seeing, but...
Is it Vital Farms? Organic?
Yeah, but you can get a
eggs?
dozen for under $8, and those are special, not your normal
Bob's
eggs,
Bait and Tackle organic eggs. Never mind. All right, well, that's it for our show today. Oh, wait. We're going to jump into our Mazda Miata and smash that thin pedal on the right that people in front of me earlier today didn't know how to do. And that's going to drive us down Main Street right back to the welcome sign of FourWheelTech at ohmtown.com. Remember, ohmTown is just one really long road. And on the left and right are stores. Each one of those stores represents one of these articles. And you can look left and right and go in there and hang out like this one here about the Renault Rodeo. And you can make comments in here, and we're even powered by Giphy, so you can actually post a little Giphy kind of a comment there if you think that you want to be driven by memes. That would probably be a fun show. Driven to meme.
There you go.
Yeah, I come up with that. I'm like that. Anyway, you know, the thing that keeps popping up in my head is the Slim Jim ad about the two guys that get picked up by the Amish guy in the
Mm-hmm.
horse and buggy, and the guy says, "Hey, how does it feel not living with technology?" And he goes, "It's all right. I just get pictures of your mom through the mail."
Yeah, it's
Man,
I
the
like
guy,
their advertisement style because it's like short and kind of zippy.
yeah, attention getting. And the Slim Jim, it snaps, and because the ad is a snap into a Slim Jim. But the guy in the back seat is going, "Oh!" It's awesome. Anyway, I'm Merawat. I'm saying bye, and so is the AI. Go for it.
Good night, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Four Wheel Tech and for this weekend edition of Non Sequitur News. We will see you again tomorrow.